Today I would like to talk about pornography addiction. But before I start, I would like to invite you to my free Telegram channel where I share my views on life, my life experiences. It's for those who want to be a little bit closer to me, who wants to get to know me. And yeah, let's start. So, pornography addiction is a plague of our modern society. And the signs of addiction, because obviously not every porn consumption is addiction, because you can see, lots of men who can watch porn from time to time without getting addicted to it. But when we talk about addiction itself, it means that you keep watching it despite of negative consequences. You spend way too much time. You experience withdrawal symptoms when you don't get to watch it. And one more important thing is that you switch to, not switch because it's a gradual process, you end up seeking more and more extreme content because your dopamine system does not react to what you already watched. It craves more and more and more. Another negative impact that porn addiction has on your life is, that you are not really interested in sexual activities themselves. For example, when you have an intercourse with a woman, you always have to, stimulate yourself somehow. You either imagine porn scenes, or you want this woman to perform like a porn actress, or you simply don't have sex life at all. Because again, I'm speaking about men who, and here, we can talk about the reasons of porn addiction, and the reasons can be different, but since it's such a common thing, it is pretty obvious that we spend way too much time online. We don't socialize anymore. If you look at younger men, they don't go to bars where older men would teach them with an example, how to interact with women. Instead of that, men would use dating apps. And I would say that it's a pretty controversial thing because, with the rising tendency for watching more and more content, there are less actual, in real life interactions, as if people are losing their desire for that, for intimacy. At the same time, they crave something that does not exist in real life. And I often hear how men who do have porn addiction and they know it, they say that it's because of lack of love, lack of maternal love. But you're a 30-year-old man. You can't blame your mom and everything. It's not gonna work like this. If I just judge the whole situation by the type of audience that follows me, a submissive man. And obviously, being a submissive man, it's not something homogeneous. It's a big spectrum, but I'm not gonna talk about submission in this video. But let's just say that there are quite a lot of men who do have an addiction, and they live in constant dichotomy. They admire women, they put them on the pedestal, they watch all this femdom content, they follow thousands of doms online, they want their attention, they want to belong to someone. They say that they want a relationship with a dominant woman, but it's not true because they're never ready for this type of relationship because they are just, actual losers who stay home and consume porn. And that's pretty much it. And then they complain that women want, a Chad who won a genetic lottery. When you don't have to do anything. And obviously it has some benefits. I will speak about it soon. And the other side of it is hating women, because women don't pay attention to them and women profit from them, and I can't blame women. So how to actually work with your addiction? Pixie, we all have our own addictions, right? So first of all, just like with any addiction, you have to admit that you have one. Hello, my name is Mike, I'm an alcoholic. You admit that you are addicted to porn, that you are addicted to maybe some specific type of pornography, yeah, which correlates your sexual preferences, and probably something that you don't get to experience in real life. And again, you won't. The second thing that I recommend, and this is something lots of these men disagree with, because it's a call for your own responsibility. It will cause guilt and shame, but don't you worry, you already live in guilt and shame. You have to think what kind of benefits your addiction brings you. And you might say, well, there are no benefits. It's just destroying me. No, there are benefits. When you are an addict, you can stay helpless. You can always blame your mom or your dad. You can always blame evil women. You can always say, I'm doomed. Why would you go to the gym today? Why would you try to be better? Why would you try to earn more money? Why would you try to be actually attractive to women if you already accept this idea that nothing will change? And as soon as you accept this thought, it kind of like gives you a permission to stay in your swamp. You don't have to do anything, because that's much harder to do something with your life. What you do is easy. And I'm being strict on purpose, because lots of you are waiting for motivation. Lots of you are expecting for some, I don't know, some messiah who's gonna come and help you, or a turning point of your life. Or maybe you're expecting one of these porn actresses to come out from the screen and just take over your life and like fix everything. Would be nice, right? Actually, motivation is a pretty controversial thing, because it seems really important. Yeah, why do you want to change? For your family, for yourself? Because not everyone wants to change. Not everyone wants to change his circumstances. And I'm talking about men, because somehow these are mostly men who fall into this. And this is a very interesting conversation for maybe another video, how, well, if we say that these things are caused by trauma, why are women so much more resilient to paraphilia and to addictions? There are already men who call themselves pornsexual. They don't want any change. They say that they are content with everything. Well, I have a hard time to believe in this, but I guess it's easier to live in acceptance. So on the one hand, motivation is quite important. At the same time, you can't rely on motivation only, because you are not that powerful. And I'm not trying to degrade you personally just because you have an addiction. I'm talking about all of us. We can't rely on our willpower solely, because we all have this sort of delusions about ourselves, especially when we feel full of ourselves at the moments when we decide to do something. Like, okay, I'm gonna beat my addiction. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna be healthy. So this probably will last a day or two, this kind of approach, because there are very few people who can truly rely on their willpower. I'm not one of them. But speaking about will, well, that's decreasing for all of us because of the lifestyle that we have, because of social media, because of the content that we watch, because of this doom scrolling. Not only doom scrolling, yeah, but also like when you watch TikToks or Reels, it's just, you exhaust your dopamine system. Same happens with porn. The more you watch, the less it impresses you, but at the same time, you can't live without it. So after you admit that you have an addiction, and after you recognize the second benefits, what does it mean to recognize the second benefits of it? It means to take responsibility for it. It means to understand that no one is coming to save you. However, if you work in a group, if you go to some rehab, it's probably going to be easier because there is a sort of a group effect, yeah, when people support each other, because we are group kind of animals. But honestly, it's not good advice for the majority of people because we are all lonely. We all exist in our apartments, in our homes, and with our gadgets, with our devices. It's a big deal to reach out to someone. That's why I'm going to give you some recommendations about, well, how to deal with it by yourself. Of course, the best thing would be to have someone who can help you with this, to have support, to have a guide, right? For example, when I work with subs who have an addiction, I don't want them to watch anything. But that's a bit different, yeah, because we are having a dom-sub dynamic and I only benefit from, well, their, let's say, redirected addiction, because even if you take 12 steps program, an addiction is replaced by another addiction, but the addiction with God. Hello. And as a religious person, you might see it as something great, yeah? I'm an agnostic, and I can also see that it's a great scheme, that it's a great program, because it's better to believe in God and go to church instead of taking drugs or being an alcoholic. But here I see religion as a tool. Building any sort of relationship with a man who is addicted to porn, whether it's personal relationship or a dom-sub relationship, is very hard because these men are deceitful. Deceitful, maybe not by choice, but again, I prefer to treat it, well, responsibly. I prefer them to take responsibility for their actions and not to blame their addiction in it, even if there is a huge desire to do so. However, when you approach your addiction and when you make a decision that, okay, I'm not gonna watch porn anymore, you are not supposed to see yourself as like a powerful being who can do whatever he wants, because it's not true. You have to take tiny steps. You have to give yourself the task that you can actually do, right? So at least just give it a day, and maybe tomorrow give it another day. If one day you get mad at yourself, mad at all these women who produce content, and say, I'm not gonna indulge in this anymore, I rule my own life, there is a huge chance that you will fail. But that's, well, I'm not sure if it's human nature, maybe. And as I said, I wouldn't rely on motivation solely. Just imagine that you give yourself a promise, you tell yourself, I will never watch porn again. And then you fail, and then you fail again. Your brain remembers the negative experience. And the more negative outcomes you have, the harder it's gonna be to achieve the result. But when you take small steps and when you give yourself compassion, when you don't guilt yourself for being like that, because that's my job, okay? I like doing that, but I have a different purpose. I'm more of a motivational purpose. The process itself looks different. So being gentle to yourself is one thing. Yeah, do not blame yourself in being like this, because feeling guilty will only bring you to the same cycle. At the same time, I'm all for the combination of approaches. Yes, during the process, step by step, and be kind to yourself. But once in a while, give yourself a reality slap. But I want to tell you one thing right now. You are a man. You are God's or nature's creation. Your body is not supposed to be weak. Your body is not supposed to be too skinny. Your body is not supposed to be fat. You have to be fit. Your mind is supposed to be strong and clear. You have to be decision-oriented, always looking for things to improve and to help others. You are someone people should be able to rely on. I'm not saying that you're supposed to be made of bricks. There are men who are overwhelmed with the amount of responsibilities that they have, and they find an outlet in watching porn. They find the space where they can be weak. There is nothing wrong about it until there is. But another category of men are those who are completely disempowered and who don't believe that they can be more than they are right now. And the last thing I'm gonna tell you for today is that when you start your journey of asceticism, and asceticism is absolutely important, it's when you stop consuming or doing something you're drawn to, you have to change your perception to the signs, to withdrawals that you experience, because usually you get frustrated or you get mad. You have to think, that's it. You have to give yourself this kind of stress. You know that there is good stress, there is bad stress, yeah? And it's only determined by how we perceive it, what we think about it. Here I'm not telling you to be happy about someone's death, because it's all about your perception, no. But when you deal with an addiction, you have to recognize what's behind these withdrawals. It's a good sign. It means that your dopamine system is finally healing, or at least has a chance, has a potential to heal. Because you know how it's gonna act if you actually keep doing that. The dopamine system will try to find another way to receive dopamine, and be really careful what you do about it. That's it for today. Follow me everywhere on Instagram and Twitter, on here, on my Telegram channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.